Hello, here I am in beautiful sunny southern Alberta, Drumheller. And Drumheller is a wonderful place. We have a dinosaur museum here. It's called the Terrell Museum. And so there's dinosaur digs around here. We're at the Hoodoos, just hiking, and now I'm sitting and making some videos and having a fun time connecting with this planet. And I'm here to talk to you about your mind, body, and spirit, those aspects of your life and how you can use them to tailor them to create the best life you've ever had in any life you've ever had. So I meant to tell you about your mind, and just this is review for some of you. If you watched my videos, you know that you have three parts to your mind. Conscious part of your mind, which is your waking mind. It's the mind that you use during your waking day, and at night when you sleep, it downloads the useful information down into your subconscious mind that's down here nice and low, and it retains the useful information. The useless information that you don't need gets filtered out in the junk later. That's why sometimes you have those weird dreams. You're like, what the heck was that? This is junk that's getting filtered out. And like sometimes if you watch a movie, you're like, you don't need that information in there. Some of the plants are kind of trying to get at me. And then you have your superconscious mind. It's the mind that connects you to your higher self. It is your higher self, and also you use it to come from a higher place when you go through your daily life to make the choices that are right and for harm none. Just like homeopathy is. Motto is harm none. So if you know anything about homeopathic remedies, you know that when you take a homeopathic, it's meant to match the energy from plant essence that was harvested. It's meant to mask it's meant to mask what's going on in your body, match it, and then it will alleviate those problems, because like attracts like, and like actually heals like. So that's really cool. If you don't know anything about homeopathy, just Google it, take a look and see where did that come from and how do they do it and why does it work. And I use it all the time for injuries with my horse Arnica Montana, for healing swellings and aches and pains and strains and that sort of thing. So it's really, really, really helpful for healing, because it's just energy, and whatever that body of that pet or that human being doesn't need, it just gets filtered out of the body, so it doesn't harm them, which is very different than other things like pharmaceutical drugs that can, when they have those commercials on TV, may cause these side effects. Like, who would want to take that and do that to their body if it's going to cause harm? And it's also, something synthetic, so it doesn't even match your energy. Unless, of course, your energy came from a different planet, then it may match your energy. So I used to think that synthetic vitamins didn't work for people, but I heard, and I think while I was making one of these videos, that it actually, or was in a meditation, that some of the synthetic chemicals and synthetic hormones and synthetic vitamins and minerals can actually match the energy of that person, depending on where their energy felt the most comfortable. So isn't that interesting? Who would know? That's straight from above. So your mind is really important, and your body is too, because your body is your temple. Your body is what's going to take you throughout your life, and how you treat your body is going to indicate how much health you are going to retain throughout your life. Or if you don't treat your body well, you're going to develop you could develop a chronic condition, aches, pains, disease, when your body is in a state of dis-ease, so unease. It doesn't like what you're feeding it, or it doesn't like the people you're hanging around with, or you live in a toxic environment where there's toxins in your water system, toxins in your house, toxins in the land. Like, for example, some places they build housing right on top of what used to be a landfill, and the landfill site releases harmful gases. And I mean, this happened, I think, in Manitoba, Canada. People had to abandon their houses because they had toxic waste seeping in the basements, and the people were sick. And you know what? They did not get treated well because of that whole situation. So please be mindful of what kind of land your home sits on and what has been there before. So it can affect your health. And if you feel like you're years I lived in a house that had black mold underneath it, and I didn't know that it was making me ill. But the spring when I was leaving, my face swelled up and my eyes were like all puffy and weird, and my nose actually swelled up to twice the size it normally is. And whoa! And the funny thing was, as soon as I got an hour away from that home, my nose, like the size subsided. I had to take antihistamine because I couldn't breathe, and my lungs were just burning, like burning black mold. So I can always tell when a building has black mold because my lungs start to hurt or whatever. And yeah, I could probably release that out of here. I meant to do that soon. So that's not healthy. So how do I release it? Go into my subconscious mind in a meditation, say, show me the life that causes concern, shows me the life, and then by seeing it and sensing it, I let it go. So that's just a little blurb about what you can do with your subconscious mind, and I absolutely do that in a hypnotherapy session. So if you're watching this and you have chronic conditions and you want to see where they come from so you can let them go, definitely book a hypnotherapy session with me or someone like me. I've been trained by Chris Lee, and his website is pastliferegressionandprogression.com, and there are hypnotherapists across Canada who were trained through his method that will do the same kind of work as I do. So it's really good because anything that is an issue in your life, guaranteed the answer lies in your subconscious life, how to find out what it is, where it comes from, and how to let it go. And most people don't realize that. They think that they're going to have that condition or that issue for their entire life. Like, I know a lot of people talk about their illness and allergies and conditions like they'll never get rid of them. They just think it's just the way they live. Chronic pain, that I can guarantee you can let it go. But the funny thing is, when I talk to, like, I'm going to talk to normal people who don't understand the power of the subconscious mind, they identify themselves with their illness and they state it like that's just the way it is and it's never going to change. And it's interesting because I know with the help of someone like me, I can help you see inside your mind to see why that condition exists, and also I can help you tweak your diet so illness is no longer a problem and health is what you've gained. So just think about that, because all it takes is a switch in the food that you eat to higher vibrating food that matches your cellular structure and also gives your body the food it needs to heal and to regenerate healthy tissue, healthy cells. So if you ever never thought about your food as fuel, you are meant to now. From this day forward, think about, what am I putting in my body and what kind of cells is that food creating? So there are certain things that you should never put into your body. For example, potato chips fried in canola oil. Generally, canola oil, when heated to a high temperature, can become carcinogenic, which helps form cancer cells. So you have to be conscious of that. And you also have to understand, how do I create healthy cells and how do I bring energy and oxygen into my body to create a healthy stream of cells that actually will be more abundant than the unhealthy cells, because the unhealthy cells will make you sick. And the healthy cells will make you feel like you're amazing, you can do anything, and your skin will glow and you'll look younger than you actually are, and you'll just like thrive. And the cool thing is when you're really healthy, you don't have to sleep as much. You don't have as much fatigue as some people, and you look really good and you just feel really good. You're always happy and in a good mood. So think about what you feed your body and what kind of cells are you creating? Like, what are you growing? That's what I always make people think. What are you growing? Who are you hanging out with? What kind of food are you putting in your body? How does that food make you feel? Because generally processed food, you're going to feel how it affects your body. And unprocessed food closest to the source, your digestive system is not going to have to work overtime to process it. And it's going to be like, whoa, this is great. I love it. I want to tell you something because it's like about food and drink, and I love eating, I love drinking healthy things. So I like the idea how green tea is an antioxidant, but I just don't like green tea when it is warm. I hate it. I can't choke it down. So I thought, well, dang, I'm going to make some iced tea out of it. And you know what? My body loves it when it's cold. Loves it. So I make my own iced tea, and it just makes me feel happy. I call it my happy tea. So, there could be something that's really healthy and good for you, but your body may not like it. Say, like with tea, it's when it's warm, it's just like, ooh, yuck. And then on the flip side, I love rooibos tea when it's warm. I just love it. It just tastes so good, and it tastes really good with like a vanilla almond creamer. No sugar, but that creamer has sugar in it anyways. How could we get away from that stuff, right? Sugar is like a drug. And actually it is. So here, I know I'm going kind of like all over the place, but I'm not really, because this segue is going into the sugar thing. So I was reading this book called The Food Pharmacy by Jean Carper, and if you haven't read that book, please do, because it gives you a lot of insight into what will make you well and what will make you ill. So sugar does not make people hyper, actually, interestingly enough. In that book, and this is like proven by the medical profession, that 2 tablespoons of sugar each day is actually like a sedative. It soothes you. So here's an experiment I want you to try. Find something with sugar in it and notice how you feel after it. Like, it might make you feel like, and then notice, like, if something has, say, additives in it or color, like dyes or whatever, see if it makes you hyper, because certain dyes can make people hyperactive. Certain things can make people hyperactive. So just always pay attention to how the food makes you feel that you put in your body, and how often do you have it, that one that may be making you feel like nervous or stressed. Like coffee, for me, I can't drink it, especially the stuff that's brewed. It makes me feel really hyper, and I get heart palpitations, and my brain gets scattered, and I get sweaty. I get the sweats. So I know that there's just something, it just works against my adrenals. So I quit drinking coffee. But the green tea, iced tea, it makes me feel really good and really happy, and I don't get any of those symptoms from it. So it's something for you to think about. What do you put in your body in terms of food and drink, and how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel happy and good? Is it like an artificial stimulant? Does it make you go to the bathroom a lot? Because if it does, and it's a diuretic, you want to make sure that you don't put too much of it in your body, because it can dehydrate you. And then of course you have to replenish that with lots of water, because water helps flush the toxins out of your body. Another book I was reading, 10 Essentials to Heal Your Eyesight, what's his name? Edward Conrad said that when you don't drink enough water, your body actually builds up toxins inside of it. And it's actually the toxins in your body that creates macular degeneration, which is a loss, helps like with the loss of your eyesight. So if you're not a water drinker, change your ways. Make sure you drink lots of water. And one thing I tell people is, when you get up in the morning, first thing you should do is drink 32 ounces of water, and then wait 45 minutes, and then you can eat or drink whatever you want after that. And the wonderful thing is, it actually helps clear your skin up if your skin is not looking too healthy. It rehydrates you so you don't look tired and old, and it helps remove the toxins from your body. It doesn't do it overnight, because it's a process. And if you have if you're larger than what you want to be, chances are you are storing a lot of toxins in there as well, because your body's not working efficiently and proficiently to release the toxins. It's storing things. And toxins, I heard not really. This is interesting. I read somewhere that toxins are stored in your fat cells, and I'm hearing from Spirit, they said, actually, this is cool. They said that toxins are stored in the dermis of the cell. And I'm not really, up on cellular structure. So they said it doesn't have to be fat cell. They said fat cells are more conducive to retaining toxins, but they said toxins can be retained in any forms of cells. And they said that's how cancer cells are formed, is that they just said they're nuclear. Like, they're just like messed up. I don't even know how to explain. Wow, they're telling me. It's weird. Nuclear transformation. They just said it's not. They're made from radiation and from awkwardly formed cells that don't fit with the other cells, and so they can either there's a word for it. I'm hearing co-create, but they can also create a hostile environment where it kills off the host body, the good cells, and then the bad cells are formed and the bad cells take over. It's like good cop, bad cop. You know, what kind of cells do you want to form, and what do you want to create? So think about that always with the food choices that you're making. The more the food that is more dead than other food. So if you eat food that is far from the source, chances are it's not going to be that nourishing. And then when you eat food that is closer to the source, nice green healthy vegetables and, you know, fruits with vitamins and minerals in them, and any kind of food with antioxidant property, that does a world of good, I'm hearing. And you know, when I said the word antioxidant, this is really cool. They do weird, like spirit does weird things to me. I saw, like, with vision becoming like extended, like it just really does a lot for helping you retain your good eyesight and reform your eyesight. And they said it actually changes the molecular structure of your retina and your visual cortex. And they said cortina. I didn't know. Sorry. It doesn't always come through, and sometimes I feel kind of weird about saying like things that I'm not really sure if that's right or not. Right? That's my ego giving me the check. But they said for visual acuity, definitely add antioxidants to your diet. And they're saying also, and they've said this before, 1 glass of red wine a day is really good for your digestive system. And they did want me to start drinking 1 glass of red wine a day, and I'm like, I don't really like to, because I find with red wine, sometimes I don't sleep that well at night, keeps me awake, and then sometimes I just want to drink more, and I don't want to do that either. But they said just 1 glass. So anyways, there are things you can do to add to your diet that will keep you healthy, lean, and revitalizing your cellular structure, and not having it get old and decrepit. Because if you feel you haven't been aging well, chances are the diet is wrong, and maybe you might be hanging around with people who aren't taking care of their, I don't call it the temple, aren't taking care of their temple as well. And so you want to, you know, choose people who decide that they want to nurture their body. You know, it doesn't have to be tough, it doesn't have to be hard. Just add in like dark leafy greens and definitely carrots. Here's the smoothie I make in the morning now. It's really good. Spinach, organic, blueberries, carrots, baobab powder. So baobab powder is from a fruit, the baobab fruit, and it's a big round like that, and it's green. And it actually, the powder is created by itself inside that fruit, and it's dry, and they just harvest it. They don't even do anything to it. It's just naturally inside that seed pod, and then you can buy it, and it's not even that expensive. It was like, for 250 grams, it was about $12.94. And it is the best antioxidant, and it tastes really good. It has a tart taste to it, so I throw that in my smoothie as well. Also put in coconut oil, because your brain needs healthy fats. If you are like spaced out and you can't, like, your long and short-term memory especially, is not getting healthy fats, you will get brain fatigue, and you will get brain fog, and you will not have the mental acuity that you want and need if you live when you live in a fast-paced environment. So really be aware. Give yourself healthy fats in the morning. It could be peanut butter in your, they said peanut butter is not that great. Oh my goodness. They said, not unless you're from African descent, because they said that's natural to their environment, but to ours it's not. Like some Europeans, certainly me, I am Ukrainian, and my grandparents came from the Ukraine like 2 generations ago. So they're like wheat farmers and that. But I do like a plant-based diet. It just agrees with my body. And I feel like that had quite a bit to do with how I feel about animals, and how I feel about this planet, and how much I love this planet, and also really like, I don't know, like a lot of Asian dishes and that. I lived in Asia for 4 years. I loved it. Loved the way they worked with food there. It was very flavorful and healthy most of the time, not always. So think about, I'm going to say this to you always. Think about the foods you put in your body, how they make you feel, how hard your body has to work at it processing that food, what kind of liquids you put into your body, how healthy are they. I heard sports drink, no. Be careful of those sports drinks. Because this is interesting, they say they have formaldehyde in there and they don't have to put it on the label. Sometimes they put natural flavors and natural colors, and they said that that's how they sneak it in because there's no control over what that actually is. Isn't that interesting? They said petroleum products are natural too, but we don't want to go drinking those either. So they are being your health guides today. So the last part I want to talk about is your spirit. Your spirit is so important to your lifestyle because it is really who you are, and it helps you nurture yourself and be an integral part of this planet and making sure that this planet thrives and doesn't just survive. So we always have something that we feel passionate about, right? For me, it's speaking with the animals and being the voice for them, and for serving a purpose on this planet, like helping her stay nice and green, being a voice for her. And she wants me to go back to doing my healings once a month, so I'll absolutely do that within a week or two of posting this video and being a voice for her, because I really like this planet, and sometimes I feel bad how people treat it and they don't understand, like they just don't get it, like, so sometimes it's like talking to a rock because the rock doesn't understand. Like, it's just, well, okay, rocks do understand, they have an energy, but they just don't have the vitality to move, and so they're just like So I want you to think about, how do you treat this planet, and do you have the opportunity to recycle certain items, and do you take that opportunity to do that, or you just throw everything in the garbage? And it takes 100 years for a tin can to decompose, at least 100 to 150 years. So instead of that, why wouldn't you just recycle that tin can and let it be reused? Yeah, like this shirt that I'm wearing is made from recycled pop bottles. How cute is that, right? And it's really soft. And I got it at a store. I saw it on a mannequin. I'm like, oh my God, I want that shirt just because it's got this cool tie-dye thing. But then I read the label and it said it's made from recycled pop bottles. Oh my God, like, so that's so me, because I really think it's wonderful to do that for this planet. My spirit, I was just guided to go past that store and then go into it as soon as I saw this shirt on the mannequin. And it was actually the shirt right on the mannequin that was my size. So I was like, hey, I want that shirt off that mannequin. And I got it, and it was wonderful. It just it comes from a good source, right? We have something that we have an abundance of, like pop bottles, like plastic, and we can reuse it so that it's not taking a new resource from the earth. So that's really good. That's part of my spiritual programming. I've always cared for the earth, and I've always really loved to go in the woods and go hiking. And when I was little, I said to my mom when we were at my dad's sawmill, I'm gonna go lose myself in the woods. And I was walking away, and they called me and brought me back. But I was like not scared to go in the woods because it was like they're my friends. So if you've never ever done this, here's something I want you to do. And don't be like, if you live in the city, don't think someone's gonna think you're a freak. But go to a tree, either in your yard or in a park or in the forest. If you're lucky enough to be able to go to a forest, go and put your back against a tree, and then just start to breathe. So like, you close your eyes and you start to breathe, and then start to build a rhythm with that tree. I know this might sound kooky to you, but you, like everything that trees do, respire. They produce oxygen, and we produce carbon dioxide. So that's why we work so well together, because they need carbon dioxide and we need oxygen. So they give off oxygen, we give off carbon dioxide. So we have this symbiotic relationship. So put your back against a tree and just become one with the energy of the tree, and see if you can hear what that tree has to tell you. Man, sometimes, like, they are so insightful for us, and so wise and so kind. And sometimes they might give us heck, right? Sometimes they might tell us we need to change our ways, and that's okay. We need to change our ways. But trees are there, and some people might think, oh, I could never talk to them or whatever, but absolutely everyone has the ability to be telepathic. Or not really. Some people's minds are really blocked because they had lives where they were telepathic and they were punished for it. So they were told, don't ever do this again or you're going to get punished again. But you can get through that by meditating, going to the subconscious mind and releasing that. So you can do whatever you want. You can be whoever you want. You can have whatever you want. You're just meant to follow your path and pay attention to your mind. Where does it go? Pay attention to your body. How healthy is it, and how do you feed it? And then pay attention to your spirit. What does your spirit want and need, and how do you nurture it? Because so many people are so busy just working with their conscious mind and thinking, oh, I can only do this to have success, and I have to follow the programs that all these people set out because they're all successful. But the thing is, it might not be successful for you. And then with your body, sometimes people are so busy they forget that they need to feed it healthy food. And it's just as easy to get some live produce in a store as it is to go through the drive-through in a fast food restaurant. You can just grab something healthy to eat at a store. And then how do you nurture your spirit? What do you do to feed your soul? How do you feed your soul? What kind of people do you surround yourself with? And how loving are you to yourself for the journey that you're on? And what things do you do to inspire yourself? So I want to tell you this one thing. This is kind of cool. This manifestation technique. I'm a very visual person, and I build these books, and so I get a really nice looking book, and then I start to just paste things in there of things that I like. No, I don't have them in my life already, but I'd like them to be in my life because I just like the look of them, or whatever. It's just something that I would like to have. So I have that picture, right? And I put it in a book. And then I write little notes beside it or whatever, like I like this, or things like that. And you know what is amazing? Those things, they literally show up in my life. So I did that with some dishes that I really liked. They were blue and white, and they had really nice patterns on them by potters. And I thought, wow, I really like the colors in this and look really good in my house. So I was in this one store, and there are the bowls, like from my book. And they are like a soft blue and white, and they are Japanese, which I love. Japanese items. I love, 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 love them. And they were like, they had different patterns on them, which is what I like. I like to kind of have mixy matchy things. Like I don't want them to be all the same. And so I bought them, and I just, I bought one at a time, one here, one there, the ones that I liked. And wow, that's cool. That's just from building, like, it's like I call a lookbook. So you just take it out every so often, you look at it and say, oh, these are the things I like. I'd like to add some more things to them that I would like to just have in my life, and allow that opportunity for it to come into my life. So that's nurturing your spiritual side, and growing some things that you can have in your life, and just allowing them to come in. Lots of people think that they have to work really hard and find everything that they want, and by this age I'm going to do this, by this, and like life sometimes gives you lemons and you find that the path that you chose was not really meant for you, and that you veered off and went a different way. And especially happens when some of us have children. We change our path and we grow a lot more spiritually because we may have these difficult children, or we may have children who are smarter than we are. Teach us things constantly, like what's good for me should be good for enough for you. No, that doesn't work, because the kids now are very high vibrators, and I'm hearing there's a lot of planetary surges coming in. So we get these children who are not from this planet, who don't fit in, and they know they don't fit in, and everybody else around them knows they don't fit in, so they get ostracized, and they sometimes get bullied, and sometimes they have a harder life, but they chose to have a hard life to come to this planet to learn more things. So just be conscious of that when you have, say you have a student, or you have like a friend's kid who's just an odd duck or whatever. Just think, maybe they're from a different planet, they just don't get the ways on this planet, because often we get children like that. And I didn't understand it until I started working with children like that just didn't fit in. They were lovely. Like, I like them because their minds are really fast and bright and brilliant and different. I get it. So that's my mind, body, spirit video. Thank you so much for watching my series.